freedom in the Commonwealth, which is why I'm testifying against House Bill 2271 and 2411. What we've seen from the very beginning of the COVID pandemic is that communities of faith have been disproportionately impacted by the state's crisis. Twice over the past year, we had to help faith leaders file successful lawsuits in federal court just to ensure that houses of worship are treated equally when compared to other non-religious entities. So it's been very troubling to see that Representative Fargas's bill, House Bill 2411, once again unfairly targets the faith community in Massachusetts by eliminating the exemption for religious convictions. At the beginning of this hearing, this bill was introduced by framing vaccine exemptions for religious beliefs as if they created some sort of public health crisis. That's rather confusing because, as we've heard repeatedly over the past 12 hours, it runs directly counter to the facts. Massachusetts has one of the highest vaccination rates in the nation, including for COVID vaccinations. On the other hand, the percentage of Massachusetts students who currently have a religious exemption is about 1%. So given the numbers, it's clear that religious exemptions have virtually no impact on those high vaccination statistics. But they do have a major impact on the lives and freedoms of the families who've been calling and emailing my office nonstop leading up to this hearing. And they are horrified that you, the legislature, are even considering a bill that would force them to choose between equitable access to education for their children and violating the bodily integrity of those children. Many of them are compelled by their faith, as you've heard again repeatedly, to treat their bodies and the bodies of their children under their care as temples and exercise care and discernment over what enters into the body. So it should come as no surprise that some parents have sincerely held religious beliefs that prevent them from allowing their children to be injected with certain substances, including preventive treatments that are still only authorized for emergency use, like the COVID vaccine. There's also been a good deal of debate during this hearing about whether or not, quote, major religions oppose some vaccinations. In fact, the state representative, whose name I'm apparently not permitted to mention if I don't want to get muted, said that only one major religion opposed vaccines and it was shrinking. The truth is, it is entirely irrelevant whether someone's religious opposition to a vaccine is tied to a major religion. That's because the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court has ruled that limiting the religious exemptions to, quote, the tenets and practice of a recognized church or religious denomination violates the First and 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution, as well as Article 2 of the Declaration of Rights of the Massachusetts Constitution. Now, that ruling comes from the well-known case of Dowley versus Board of Education from 1971. It is that decision that caused the third paragraph of Mass General Laws, Chapter 76, Section 15, to be amended to its current language that references simply, quote, sincere religious beliefs. Now, it's disappointing to say the least that the
Thank you, Mr. Beckwith. Please do submit